Hey guys, so today I wanted to do my top 10 horror movies set in the woods because I think the woods are some of the spookiest places ever. I love watching creepy videos about the woods and I kind of live near the woods. They're some of my favorite. These would be fun to watch like before you go camping if you want a scary vibe. My first one is a classic, I'm sure everyone knows this, Friday the 13th, of course, the OG 80s one. This movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. It made me really want to be a camp counselor because I'm a crazy person and I think that would be fun. I don't really want to be like killed in the woods or anything, but I think it would be fun to be a camp counselor. If you haven't heard about this movie before, it is about a little kid who drowns in a lake and he comes back for revenge. Which it has a little plot twist at the end, which is very interesting. But this movie is just classic, campy, 80s fun. It's not really scary, but it's really, really silly. I think it's just really entertaining. I love a classic slasher, so if you're looking for something that's nostalgic, super entertaining, but also a little spooky, then this is a good one. Next up, we have the movie The Ritual. This is about a group of men who go camping in the woods together and they go kind of like a backpacking journey, but they start to lose their way. And it's very similar to the Blair Witch Project, but I think it's better than the Blair Witch Project. This movie really, really creeped me out. I think it's one of the scarier ones on this list. There's a lot that goes wrong when they go on this camping trip. A lot of injuries, there's a lot of weird stuff that can't really be explained. The woods are really spooky in this. And I think that this one is just really, really well done. It has a lot of really good acting and a lot of really interesting scenes. And I think the woods in this one are some of the spookiest woods. I think if I got lost in woods like these, I would totally freak out. So yeah, I really, really like this one. I would highly recommend. I think it's an underrated horror film for sure. Next up, we have the Blair Witch Project, which is similar to the last movie I talked about, but this one's also a classic woodsy movie. This is a found footage film from the 90s. A lot of people thought it was real when it came out because the found footage is very shaky. If you have motion sickness, I might stay away from this one. But this one is about a group of 3 friends who go out into the woods and it's all filmed on a little camcorder and they start to notice a lot of weird little witchy things. And there's one scene in this movie that freaks me out so badly. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but when I watched it, I literally had to turn the lights on because I was so freaked out. So I think that this one's pretty scary. I don't think it necessarily holds up in modern day as well, but during the time period, this was like one of the first found footage films, so people absolutely freaked out watching this, which makes sense. I would freak out. I would probably think it's real, but this is a good one to watch if you want to watch something that made history, because I think it is a big part of horror movie history. Next up, we have a very campy one. This one is Wrong Turn. I watched this movie recently and I'm not gonna lie, this one's silly, you guys, but it's about a group of people who have their car break down in the Appalachian Mountains and they run into a weird mutant family and the mutant family loves hunting people. And that's pretty much the premise. They're trying to escape the scary mutant cannibal family, which would scare the crap out of me. But it's really, really silly. I think if you want a good laugh, this is a good one to check out because it's not going to be that scary. But I really do like movies set in the Appalachians. I think that there should be more horror movies set there. If you guys know of any movies that are set there, please let me know because I think the Appalachian Mountains are really, really creepy. If you want something that's like typical early 2000s cheese fest, this is a good one. Next up, we have The Cabin in the Woods. This is one of my favorite horror movies because it is really, really funny. This one's not scary at all, so if you're looking for something scary, this probably isn't the one. It's more of a comedy. But this is about a group of friends that go to a cabin in the woods and they start to realize that they're being set up. This movie is really, really interesting because there's a lot going on behind the scenes and it's almost like a parody of a horror movie. It's like a very interesting commentary on horror movie tropes in general. So if you're a big horror movie nerd, you gotta watch this one because it is so well done. It's really well written and I wish I could write a movie like that, honestly. Very interesting concept and a lot of really funny, likable characters, especially the stoner guy. I love that guy. He's my favorite character in that movie. So if you're looking for something fun, silly, good, watch that. Next up, we have another silly one. Sorry, this is a silly list, but it's Tucker and Dale versus Evil. This is definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. I feel like I keep saying that, but this one is in my top 10 for sure. This movie is another movie that's kind of like commentary on silly horror movie tropes, very similar to Cabin in the Woods, but it's about these two hillbillies that get accused of killing college students in the woods. But it's funny because they're not actually trying to kill anyone and they're like innocent. But these college students are so stupid that they keep running into all these problems and causing it for themselves. So this one's just really, really silly. This one's hilarious. I think it's a red flag if someone doesn't find this movie funny. But I love this one. It's honestly, the hillbillies are so likable. Like Tucker and Dale are some of my favorite movie characters. I think this is a great film. I think that this is a very underrated horror film. I know that a lot of people love it, but I think more people should be talking about it. Next up, we have The Strangers, and this is another popular film. This one is about a couple who go to a wedding and then they stay at a cabin afterwards, and there's people knocking on their door in the middle of the night and they don't know who they are. This has a very famous tagline of, "Why did you do it?" And then the strangers go, "Because you were home." And this ruined my life when I was 9. I saw this movie when I was 9 and I absolutely freaked out because I was convinced that if people knew I was home, they would try to murder me because they were like, well, you were home, so like, why wouldn't we? But yeah, this movie is really, really creepy. It still holds up great to this day. It's not cheesy at all. This is a scarier one. So if you are really scared of home invasions, this is a good one to check out. Don't watch the latest sequel, by the way. That movie sucks. That movie is the worst movie I've ever seen. But yeah, you could watch one and the sequel is also really good. I would highly recommend both of them. This is just a classic horror movie. I think everyone should watch it. Next up, we have the movie Sleepaway Camp. This is very similar to Friday the 13th. This is a very popular movie from its time. It's another campy 80s movie. And it's about this little girl, Angela, and her cousin who go to a sleepaway camp and people keep getting murdered and they don't know who it is. This one has a huge plot twist that I wasn't really expecting. Kind of a bizarre plot twist when you think about it. I'm not really sure why that was the plot twist. It's really campy and fun though. It's really cheesy at times, but I think it's just a fun slasher. So if you're looking for something light and entertaining, this is a good one to check out. Lastly, we have yet again another campy horror movie. They love making campy horror movies in the woods, but this one's Cabin Fever. This one's so stupid, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. But if you're a big early 2000s cheesy movie fan, this is a good one because it's just ridiculous. It's about these people that go to a cabin in the woods and they get this flesh-eating disease, and there's like really weird, gross scenes. This one's kind of like gory, but there's a scene where a girl's like shaving her legs and her flesh is coming off. So if you want something gory, silly, not really scary at all, but something you can make fun of with your friends, this is a fantastic movie to watch. It's not the best movie in the world, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but I really like this one just because it's fun. I don't know. I'm not really like a big fan of super critically acclaimed, like this movie is so interesting. Like I'm not a snob when it comes to movies, so whatever movies I recommend are probably going to be enjoyable for you guys to watch. Let me know if you've seen any of these, if you like them. Let me know if you want some more horror movie recommendations. I have a ton. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I have a really, really interesting video coming out after this that I think you guys are gonna love. So please turn on the notifications so you know when I'm gonna post that. I'm scripting it and making sure it's really good and well done. And I will see you guys next time.